A global mission pioneer feels compelled to plant churches in Myanmar, mission in India and the Philippines, and the sights and sounds of Buenos Aires, Argentina. Hello and welcome to Mission 360. I'm Gary Krause. Today's program is coming to you from the city of Buenos Aires in Argentina. This capital is the most visited capital in South America. It numbers some 12 million people if you take into account the surrounding suburbs. Argentina, of course, is known for many things, including the tango dance, which emerged out of the slaughterhouse district in the late 19th century. And today we see this city, like so many cities in the world, so diverse, with many people coming from so many different cultures around the world and also different socio-economic levels. We see the rich and the poor living sometimes very uneasily together. Buenos Aires is representative of so many large cities around the world today that are our new mission field. And on today's program, we'll be visiting many different mission projects. But first up, let's travel to the Philippines.
Not many pastors wake up their family by sounding like a rooster, but Eugene de la Peña is not your typical pastor. The smile on his face today has replaced the anger and hate that filled him more than 20 years ago. Eugene used to be a gang member and was first arrested at the age of 13. In all, he was thrown into jail more than 20 times. While in court awaiting trial, Eugene escaped. He spent the next several years running from the law. One day, Eugene was introduced to Pastor Nelson Paulo. Pastor Paulo wasn't fazed by Eugene's rough past. With true Christian love, he accepted Eugene and helped him turn his life around.
So I was a little hesitant, but I know God provided a way that I would make friendship with him.
Pastor Paulo taught Eugene how to pray, and a decision to accept Jesus soon followed. Eugene then made another choice.
During the time, my perspective was changed, my desire, my priority. So I decided to go back to school, despite of my age.
Today, Eugene is a pastor and the youth director for a conference in the Philippines. Once a week, he visits local jail cells and reaches out to people that were once just like him. He can relate to them in a way that most other pastors can't. Eugene knows where each of these men have come from and the journey that they are on. He has been in their shoes and can tell them that there is a God who is willing to change their lives, to forgive them for all their sins and past transgressions. The prisoners react positively to Eugene's message. Some ask him to pray for them that they will find peace and forgiveness from their troubled lives. Eugene feels that the prisoners accept him and the message that he freely shares with them.
You know, inmates have their own invented lingo. They have their language, so I can easily have access to their hearts maybe because I know their language. Maybe because I was there.
Pastors around the world are changing lives every day. Each one brings a unique gift that God has given them to be a part of their ministry. Eugene's life changed when he decided to accept Jesus and when he decided to go to an Adventist school. When you support the mission offering, you are helping to provide educational opportunities to people like Eugene. This quarter, the 13th Sabbath offering will go to help Adventist schools all over the Philippines where young people can hear God's call. Thank you for your prayers and support of mission.
My guest is Pastor Marcelo, who is the district pastor here in central Buenos Aires. Thank you so much for joining us today. And Pastor Marcelo, we are located in the city. Can you describe the location?
Pastor, gracias por visitarnos. Estamos en la zona sur de la ciudad de Buenos Aires, en el barrio de Nueva Pompeya. Ahí está el puente, limita con la provincia de Buenos Aires partido de Lanús, y desde el puente hacia aquí, hacia el norte, centro, distrito del centro de Buenos Aires, barrio de Pompeya.
So this is a very strategic location. Now, this highway here, how many people come past here every day?
Cada día por aquí transitan miles de personas, no solamente a través del transporte público, autos y vehículos particulares, sino también cruzan a pie el puente. Es mucho movimiento, ya que mucha gente viene a trabajar aquí a este lugar, que es un centro comercial, es un centro de transporte y es un centro de múltiples servicios y actividades.
How difficult was it to find this space for the center?
Fue difícil encontrar un local que no pueda ser, digamos, bloqueado o tapado por el centro comercial, el movimiento, pero bueno, hemos orado, hemos caminado, Dios nos ha guiado para encontrar un lugar que está en el acceso, en la entrada, pero que al mismo tiempo es visible. Eso es muy positivo.
Now, explain for me what this is in English.
Okay. El proyecto Nuevo Tiempo hacia una salud integral, salud mental, física, social y espiritual. La presentación, el enfoque de la presentación del centro es enfocado en la salud y en la familia.
How do people from the street come to your center? How do you make the connection?
Okay. La presentación ya del lugar presenta la propuesta, las charlas, las actividades. Tenemos cartelería móvil que colocamos aquí en la vía pública y también salimos a entregar invitaciones a la gente del barrio. Además, trabajamos con las redes sociales, internet, radio y los medios para poder divulgar las actividades que tenemos aquí en nuestro centro de influencia. Es decir, la presentación a la comunidad es de múltiples formas.
Now, what sort of interest have you received from the community?
Tenemos una muy buena respuesta. Hemos tenido cursos 30, 40 personas. Depende de la temática de estrés, soledad, depresión y problemas emocionales es lo que ha traído más gente. Hemos tenido también una buena asistencia en cursos de salud. Pero hay algo que ofrecemos que es muy importante y es la entrevista personal. Tener un encuentro directo con las personas, ya sea con un profesional de la salud, con un psicólogo o con un pastor, eso ha sido muy bueno, muy positivo y con un muy buen resultado.
Wonderful. Well, let's go into the center
Vamos
and let's
para
have a
el
look. Gracias. Buen día.
Buen día, bienvenido.
This is beautiful. Very
Buen día,
nice.
Marta.
Very nice looking center. Lovely. Now, Marcelo, you were telling me that you have already established a group of believers worshiping here every Sabbath. How many people are coming?
Cada sábado se reúnen entre 30 y 50 personas en este lugar que la verdad que ha llegado a través del centro de influencia.
Wonderful. So let's go and meet the director of the center.
Vamos, le voy a presentar a nuestro director, José Cardoso.
Yes, buen día.
José.
Jose, buen día. Can you tell me, please, what is it that motivated you to become involved and working in the center?
Bueno, yo estoy involucrado aquí en este lugar porque, primero de todo, debo decir lo siguiente. Dios siempre me dirigió y me sigue dirigiendo y a través de ese llamado tengo una vocación de servicio a Dios y al prójimo y también estoy involucrado aquí en esta tarea porque las autoridades de la Iglesia, por votación de junta, creyeron conveniente de que yo pudiese atender este lugar. Y aquí estamos sirviendo al Señor con mucho gusto y sirviendo a nuestro prójimo, en especial manera a las personas que pasan por la calle y entran pidiendo auxilio espiritual, mental, y estamos para ayudarlo porque mi vida también viene de allá abajo, entonces Dios me está permitiendo ayudar a otros como cuando a mí me ayudaron cuando necesité realmente de ese salvavidas.
Wonderful. Now, what is it that you find is the most rewarding aspect of being involved here?
La mayor satisfacción que yo vivo aquí haciendo esta tarea hace 14 meses, ver almas que realmente el Espíritu Santo las sensibiliza y les da tanta ayuda que pueden ellos salir del pozo donde se encuentran especialmente jóvenes drogadictos y entregan su vida a Cristo. Cuando yo veo eso en vivo y en directo, que el Espíritu Santo de Dios obra en esos jóvenes, la verdad, querido, me dan ganas de decirle Dios gracias y me emociona.
Wonderful. Jose, muchas gracias.
Gracias a usted.
Marcelo, muchas gracias. And viewers at home, what a wonderful story here. Please pray for the centers of influence that are operating here in Argentina. We'll be right back straight after this break. Hello and welcome back to Buenos Aires. I'm standing in a very important square in the city, Independence Square. Through the years, it's been the site of many protests, often very violent protests for various causes. Next up, we travel to India.
Welcome to the beautiful country of India. We're here in the southeast where it's mountainous and green, in the city of Cochin, that's by the sea. And I want to introduce you to somebody very special. His name is Brother Joseph, and he has an amazing story to share with you. Thanks for being with us, Brother Joseph. Yeah. Can you tell us how your life was before you met God and how it is now?
I grew up in a large family. My parents had a total of 8 children. My mother was mentally challenged and ill. It was very hard for her to take proper care of my siblings and I. At that age, I never knew what love is, and I left home at a surprisingly young age, when I was only 7 years old. I decided on my own that it was better for me to live homeless, so I could live the way I wanted to live. I wandered in many places here in Kerala region, but I also traveled to nearby states. Unfortunately, I became addicted to drugs and often found myself drinking alcohol beverages. In all honesty, I lived like an animal because I never knew how to love anyone or anything. I never knew then what love is. Suicide was on my mind, and several times I tried to end my life. I did not want to live that terrible and depressing life. I found no meaning in it. But in the midst of my most trying times, I used to hear a voice speaking to me. It said, "Come, come to me." Many times I would feel as if someone was behind me to protect and save me from death. My father was a government employee, and since they did not show us love, we never bothered for them. We kept our distance. During this time, one of my younger brothers and a sister committed suicide. I was living a kind of life that no one lives. So I got married thinking that this would change my life. But deep inside, I never cared for my wife. I put work first, and I worked hard to make a lot of money, but I squandered it all on drugs. I mistreated my family badly. One time I hit my wife with such force that I caused her to have to uproot 4 of her teeth. My wife and my children suffered under my care, yet they offered me a lot of undeserved patience. In my heart, I intended to kill them, but thankfully, God didn't allow me to follow through with any of these ill plans. God has kept my life, and I'm alive. I cannot deny that Christ came searching for me when I was in my lowest point.
And after you felt that you needed to change your life, how did you meet God then?
At a low point in my life, I was invited to a Christian worship center where I first came in contact with the love of God. People at this center cared for me, and they displayed genuine love and concern. This experience was eye-opening, and I started thinking that I should start living a better life. Unfortunately, the Christian community there started demanding too much from me and too quickly. I had a lot of questions. I wondered if God is a person. what He wanted with us, and many other questions puzzled me as I searched for answers. I found the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and some of the members took me in and began showing me what the Bible taught. Little by little, I began confident and began seeing God's purpose for my life. The Ten Commandments took me completely by surprise. As I learned God's will, my life and actions began to change. My life's course was realigned. With each new lesson, I began more sure of the differences between Sunday churches and the Seventh-day Adventists. It's only been 2 years now that Sister Lisa and Flory have continued studying the Bible with me. Now I go around telling the people who once feared me about the wonderful love of God. I myself now enjoy the blessings of observing God's holy Sabbath. I am 59 years old and I had a heart attack and later was treated. But I am still a healthy man. I do all kinds of work, including tilling and digging the ground. I climb coconut trees. I have faith my God will lead me until the end of my life. Today, I truly enjoy my life with 2 children and a family with 4 grandchildren. God is a good God to me.
Brother Joseph, after such an exciting experience with God, what has that motivated you to do?
Now I go around town to tell people who once feared me all about the deep love of God. I conduct small meetings inside a cottage with the purpose to tell how God loves us. I go from door to tell my testimony and how God has miraculously changed my life. God really has a wonderful plan for me. It is my desire to tell people about the plan of God for everyone's life. 2 of my girls are married to Pentecostal pastors. I am giving Bible studies to them. I am hopeful that soon they will also decide to obey all of God's commandments. I am thankful to the sisters who have taught us the faith. At the moment we are doing gospel ministry together, I am a living witness of God's saving grace. When I see my relatives' reactions, the people who once feared me, they are happy to see me a changed man.
That's a beautiful story of how God can change lives. And it's nice to see that God did something for you and you're doing something for others in return. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
God bless you. And you who are watching at home, God has also done something for you. And you can use the many talents or maybe just the one talent He has given you. Use that one talent to grow His kingdom and to do something for others. I'm Yarley Simon. I'm reporting for Mission 360.
Next up, we travel to Southeast Asia, to the country of Myanmar, where a global mission pioneer feels convicted to continue planting new congregations of believers.
Every morning, Lapue wakes up ready for a new day as a global mission pioneer. He knows each day brings opportunities to share a new message with his village. Lapue lives in the country of Myanmar, in a village very much like the one he grew up in. He has been working as a pioneer for some time now, but has only lived in this village for about a year. When he began his work as a pioneer, he was focused on sharing the gospel with his village. But Lapue knew that there were surrounding villages that weren't being reached at all. This weighed heavily on his heart, and once his first congregation had grown to a healthy size, he chose to move to a new village. People in this village have quickly gotten to know Lapue and often invite him to come over for a Bible study. This bamboo house is the perfect space to teach and talk with small groups of interested villagers. Each visit features a new topic of discussion for them to dive into. The Bible serves as the foundation of every conversation, and the villagers can't get enough. For those who work all day, Lapue has a special plan. He joins them. He has developed relationships with these villagers by working alongside them. While they work together, he teaches them Bible verses. This often leads to deeper discussions about Lapue's faith. Unfortunately, some time ago, his eye was injured in a work accident. But this hasn't stopped him from getting back out there to share the gospel message. Lapue is meeting people where they are to connect with them, reflecting the example Jesus left for us on this earth. From his labor ministry and visiting homes, Lapue has planted a church of more than 45 members. They meet in his house often for worship and celebrate the gospel message Lapue brought to this village. One of their favorite things to do is sing, and they do it with passion. Please pray as global mission pioneers like Lapue reach people for Jesus. Thanks for all you do to support mission.
Well, I'm so glad that you were able to join us today on Mission 360. And I hope that you were challenged and inspired by what you've seen and heard on this program. And if by some chance you just happened upon this program toward the end and you'd like to see the entire program, you can always go to m360.tv on the internet and you can view this program and past programs as well. And I want to thank you for your continuing support for Adventist Mission. We consider you to be a part of our mission effort because every time you pray for missionaries, every time you pray for centers of influence, and every time that you pray for global mission pioneers planting new congregations, you are participating in Adventist Mission. And I also want to thank you for your continuing gifts to global mission and your mission offerings that you give each week. They do make a difference. And just in case you need a pen to write those checks for global mission, we'd love to send you an Adventist Mission pen. Adventist Mission pen that you can use to remind you of mission every day. Well, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your prayers. And may God continue to richly bless you. And I'll see you next time right here on Mission 360.